Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you how to crochet these really cute children's bunny slippers. So these slippers can be made in a number of different sizes, and for all of the information on how to make the different sizes, please see the description box below. So thank you very much for watching, and please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more crochet videos. So to begin your shoes, you want to start off by making a magic circle. So to do a magic circle, take your yarn and take your finger and wrap the yarn around your finger once, and then wrap the yarn back over your finger to create a cross, like that. You then want to take your crochet hook and go underneath the first loop of the cross, and you may need to pull it up a little bit, so go underneath the first loop, and then using your crochet hook, pick up the second loop of the cross and pull it through. And you can then take your finger out, and there you have a magic circle, and we are ready to begin round one. So we are now on to round one of our bunny shoes, and to begin this round you want to chain one, and this chain one does not count as a stitch, and we are now going to work 13 double crochets into the magic circle. So 13 double crochets. So to do a double crochet, yarn over and go into the magic circle, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through the final 2 loops on your hook. So there we have one double crochet. So we're going to do a second one. So a second double crochet, then a third, then a fourth, and do this until you have 13. So I have just finished working my 13 double crochets for round one. And now to finish off this round, we're going to close up our magic circle and join. So to close your magic circle, you want to take your end or your tail here, and you simply want to pull this. So pull this nice and tight, and that will close up your magic circle. And then to join, we're going to do a slip stitch into the first double crochet that we worked. So here is the first double crochet, and if you're not sure which stitch to go into, then you can always count back 13 and then go into the first one and work a slip stitch. So yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. So there we have round one completed, and we are ready to move on to round two. So we are now on to round two, and to begin this round you want to chain one, and this chain one does not count as a stitch. And now for round two we are going to do 2 double crochets into every single stitch around. So into each and every stitch we are going to do 2 double crochets. So yarn over and go into the first stitch and do 1 double crochet. Then yarn over and go down into the same stitch again and do a second one. So there we have 2 into that stitch. So now we're going to go into the next stitch and do 2 double crochets, both into this one, and then do 2 double crochets both into the next stitch, and do this all the way around, 2 double crochets into each stitch. So I have just finished working that all the way around for round two, and at the end of this round you should have 26 double crochets. So now to finish off this round, we're going to go into the first double crochet here and work a slip stitch. So go into the first double crochet and work a slip stitch like that. And now we're ready to move on to the next round. So we are now on to round 3 of our bunny shoes. And for the next 4 rounds, we're going to do the exact same thing. So for rounds 3, 4, 5 and 6, so 4 rounds, we're going to do 1 double crochet into each stitch around. So to begin each round, we are going to chain 1, and the chain 1 does not count as a stitch. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet into each stitch around, and that should be 26 in each round. And then we're going to work a slip stitch into the first double crochet that we worked. So we're going to do that all the way around for round 3, then for round 4, then for round 5, and then for round 6. So for 4 rounds. So to begin each round, you want to chain 1, and then we're going to do 1 double crochet into the first stitch, then 1 double crochet into the next one, and 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and 1 into the next, and do this all the way around for round 3. And like I said, in each round you should still have 26 stitches. So I'm just coming to the end of round 3, and then to finish off this round, go into the first double crochet and do a slip stitch. And then you can repeat this 3 more times. So do that until you have those rounds. So I have just finished doing those 4 rounds, and this is what you should have. So we have the toe of our little slippers completed. And now if you want the toe section to be longer, so if you are doing a bigger size, then you can do as many repeats as you like. So just continue to repeat that round until it is long enough for you. So now once you have done those repeats and the toe is the length that you want it, we are now going to fasten off. So pull your yarn out and your hook and cut your yarn, and make sure that you leave a long tail to either weave in or work over later. And now we are ready to move on to the side sections of our shoes. So this is where the opening of our slippers or our shoes is going to start. So to start off, what you want to do is you want to take your work and place the seam in the middle. So the seam should be in the middle at the back, so here where you fastened off, and you want to turn it around so that you have the front. So we have the seam in the middle at the back, and we have the front. And now we're going to find the center 6 stitches. So you want to find 6 stitches which are at the center of your work. So I would say mine are about here. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So I would say these 6 stitches are right in the center of my shoes. And as it is a big circle, it really doesn't matter if you're not exact. So just find 6 stitches which are kind of in the center of your shoes at the front. So here. And these are going to be the stitches that we skip for the opening. So we are not going to work into these 6 stitches, and this is going to create the opening of our slippers. So on my shoes, I would say that this stitch here is the first one of the 6. So I'm going to skip this one, and then you want to go into the next stitch and insert your hook into the stitch. Take your yarn, so go with the same colour. Place this over your hook and pull it through. And you then want to chain 1. So chain 1 with this yarn. So like that. So there we have attached our new yarn onto our work. And we are now going to work 20 double crochets. So yarn over and go down into this first stitch that our chain 1 comes out of. So this is the stitch that you attached your new yarn into, and work 1 double crochet. Then do 1 double crochet into the next stitch, then 1 into the third one along, and do this until you have 20. So once you have worked those 20 double crochets, this is what you should have, and you should find that you have 6 stitches left, and this will hopefully be the 6 that you thought were at the center, and that is because we have 26 stitches around before, so when we work 20 we should have 6 left. So this is what you should have, and these 6 stitches are going to form the opening of our shoes. So now we are moving on to round 2 of this section, and for the next 5 rounds, so for rounds 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, we're just going to do rounds of 1 double crochet into each stitch. So you want to chain 1 and turn, and then do 1 double crochet into each stitch around, so that should be 20. So you're stopping here, so here don't go down into the 6, stop here, and then do chain 1 and turn, and do 1 double crochet back around, so that should be 20 again, and do that until you have 5 rounds, or 6 in total with the one that we just did. So we're doing 5 rounds of 1 double crochet into each stitch. So to begin this round, chain 1 and turn, then go down into this first stitch here, so the very first stitch, and do 1 double crochet, and then do a second one, then a third, then do a fourth, a fifth, and do this all the way along, so that should be 20. So I'm just coming to the end of that round, and I'm going to work my last double crochet here, and make sure that you go into the last double crochet and not the chain 1. So there I have done that all the way around. So there I have my first repeat, so I need to do 4 more. So I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and work double crochets back along, and do this until you have those rounds. So I have just finished doing those repeats, so I have 6 rounds of 20 double crochets in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but you can do as many or as little rounds as you like. So if you don't feel that this is long enough, then just add 1 or 2 more rounds, or if you feel like this is going to be too long, then just take off a round or 2. And once you have done that, we are now going to fasten off. So pull your yarn out and your hook and cut your yarn. And when you cut your yarn, you need to make sure that you leave a long tail. So I'm going to cut my yarn, leaving a pretty long tail, as we're going to use this tail or this end to sew up the back of our shoes, and I will show you how to do that now. To sew up the back, you simply want to take this end here and thread a yarn needle, and then you want to fold up the back of your shoe, so fold it in half and line up all of your stitches. And then we are going to go through to the exact same stitch on the opposite side. So we're going to go through to the same stitch on this side over here. And then we are going to do the whip stitch all the way down. So to do the whip stitch, we're going to go down into the next stitch and go through to the exact same stitch on the opposite side and pull your yarn through. And then with the whip stitch, we always go through the same side. So you are always going through this side here. So you're going through all the way to the opposite side and back round, through this side again and up, through this side and up, all the way along. So we're going to go into the next stitch and the same stitch on the opposite side, and all the way through. Then we're coming back around to this side and go into the next stitch and through again, and do this all the way along to join up the back of your shoe. So do the whip stitch all the way along. So I have gone into the very last stitch at the end, so make sure you go all the way to the very bottom, then insert your hook through to the middle and pull that through, and that will give you a nice rounded edge. So there we have finished our slippers. So you can see that this is just a basic slipper pattern. And now we are moving on to add in our bunny So the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to work a slip stitch into each stitch around the top of our shoes. So for my bunny ones here, I use this fluffy yarn, so the same yarn that I used for the tail and the inside of the ears for the slip stitch round. So you don't have to do this, you can use just your regular yarn, but if you want this fluffy effect round the top, then use the fluffy yarn to do the slip stitches all the way round. So just insert your hook into any stitch around. I always go at the back, then take your yarn, and like I said, you can use your regular yarn or your fluffy one. I'm going to use regular as it's easier to show, and then pull this through. So insert your hook through the stitch and pull it through. So then go into the next stitch and work one slip stitch, then do a slip stitch into the next one, then go into the next stitch and do a slip stitch into this one and into the next stitch, and do this all the way around, one slip stitch into each and every stitch, and this is going to make the border of our shoes nice and neat and tidy. So I have just finished working my slip stitches all the way around, and then you want to go into the first stitch that you worked a slip stitch into and work one last slip stitch, and then you can fasten off. So pull your yarn out and your hook and cut your yarn and leave a tail to weave in later. So cut your yarn, leaving a tail to weave in later, and we are now ready to move on to our bunny ears. So to begin your ears, you want to start off by making a slip knot. So to do a slip knot, take your yarn and take your finger and wrap the yarn around your finger twice. Take the first loop and pull it over the second loop, and then take the second loop and pull it all the way over your finger. You then want to take your crochet hook, go in through the space and pull tight. And there you have a slip knot. And now once you have your slip knot, we are now going to chain 12. So chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. So we are now on to round 1 of the ears, and to begin this round we're going to do 1/2 double crochet into the second chain from the hook. So here is the second chain from the hook, and you want to yarn over, go into this chain, pull up a loop, and then pull through all 3 loops. So there we have 1/2 double crochet, and we're now going to do 1/2 double crochet into every single stitch along or every single chain until you get to this very last chain. So you want to stop right before the very last chain. So yarn over and go into the next one and do 1/2 double crochet into this chain. Then do 1/2 double crochet into the next one, and then 1 into the next, and do this all the way along. So I have just finished working that all the way along, so 1/2 double crochet into each chain, and I now have 1 chain left, so you should have stopped right before the very last chain, and into this last chain we're going to do 6 half double crochets. So you should have 1 chain left, and into this one we're going to do 6 half double crochets all into the chain. So yarn over and go into the chain and do 1/2 double crochet, then do a second one into the same chain again, then do a third one into the same chain, then a fourth, a fifth, and a 6. So we have 6 half double crochets. And now to finish off this round, we're going to do 1 half double crochet into each chain along, working along the opposite side of our foundation chain. So for our ears, we did our slip knot, then we did chains up, then we worked half double crochets down, and when we did 6 into this one at the end, we turned the corner. So now we can begin working half double crochets up along the opposite side of our foundation chain. And we're going to do 1 into each chain all the way until the very end. So go into the next chain and do 1 half double crochet, then do 1 into the next one, and you can see we're going into the opposite side of the chains. Then do 1 into the next, and again we're going into the opposite side, and continue this all the way down. So I have finished working those half double crochets all the way down, and now to finish off this round you want to go into the first half double crochet that you worked here and work a slip stitch like that. And now we're ready to move on to round 2 of the ears. So we are now on to round 2 of the ears, and to begin this round we're going to start off by doing 10 half double crochets, so 1 into each stitch. So yarn over and go down into this very first stitch here and do 1 half double crochet, then do 1 into the next one along, and 1 into the third, and do this until you have 10. I have 10 half double crochets, and we are now going to do 6 sets of 2 half double crochets into each stitch. So into each of the next 6 stitches you want to do 2 half double crochets. So we're going to go into the next stitch here and do 1 half double crochet, and then go back into the same one again and do a second one. So there we have 1 set, and we're going to do 5 more until we have 6. So there's 2, and do this until you have 6. So there I have my 6 sets, and now to finish off this round we're going to do 10 more half double crochets. So you want to do 1 half double crochet into each of the next 10 stitches. So continue to do half double crochets all the way down. So like that, so there I have my 10 half double crochets, and we have finished our bunny ears. And now to finish off this round you want to go into the very first half double crochet that you worked and work a slip stitch. And now you can fasten off, so pull your yarn out and your hook and cut your yarn, but you need to leave a long tail or a long end, as we're going to use that to attach our ear to our shoe. So here we have our shoe, and then we have one of our ears. And what you need to do is you need to do a second ear in the exact same way as we did this one. So both ears are exactly the same. And then for these ones here with the fluffy section in the middle, all I did was I did rounds 1 and 2 in the grey, and then I did just round 1 in the fluffy yarn. So I did an ear, and then I used some fluffy yarn and did round 1 of the ears, and then fastened off, and then attached that round 1 to the middle of this section here. But that is completely optional, and if you don't want to use the fluffy yarn, you could do round 1 in a pink or a grey or whatever you like, or a cream, and put that in the middle of this section if you like, so that you have the same effect without using the fluffy yarn if you don't have any. But you can just leave your ears plain like this. So if you want plain ears, do round 1 and 2, and if you want the fluffy kind, do rounds 1 and 2, and then do round 1 in a different type of yarn and sew it to the middle. And then once you have both ears, we are now going to attach them to our shoes. So to do that, what you want to do is you want to kind of fold them in together at the end. So fold them together like this, and then take a yarn needle and thread the end, so where you fastened off, thread the needle using the end, fold them together, and then go through both sides to make this nice and secure. So I have folded my ear and I have pinched it together and gone through a couple of stitches to make it nice and secure. And then you want to take your shoe, and I attached my ears to the second row down. So I attached them to this row here, the second one down from the opening, and just decide where you want your ear to be. Put it onto the shoe like that, and then just using your yarn needle, go through the shoe and then go back through the ear. So go shoe through to the ear and pull it through, and then keep doing this until your ear is nice and secure. So it can be a little bit fiddly, but just make sure that you just go through the shoe and then through the ear, then back down through the shoe and then up through the ear, going through the back. And if you want it to kind of go upwards more, then come up here a little bit further more on the ears, and attach it further up the shoe, and that will make your ear kind of stand up a little bit more. So it can be a little bit fiddly, but once you have done one, then you get the hang of it. So you need to make 2 shoes and 4 ears, and then attach 2 ears to each shoe. And then to make the little bunny eyes, I just took my yarn needle and some brown yarn and just created 2 little stitches. So in the middle, so I went 1 row down further than the ears and did 2 little brown stitches for the eyes. And then for the tail, I just used my fluffy yarn and I made a tiny little pom-pom, but that is completely optional, but I just made a little pom-pom and then attached that to the back of my shoes. And once you have done 2 shoes, you have finished. So that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it easy to follow. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel for more crochet videos, and thanks again for watching. Bye.